to That Wrestling Podcast.
Welcome to That Wrestling Podcast. The good bad guys of Wrestling Podcast are back, talking all things of the week that was in professional wrestling. The boys are all here, and we got lots and lots to cover, and unfortunately, it's not all that good. And Jay, last week, you were flying solo.
Yeah, one-man show. What's funny is I recorded the first take Thursday morning at 7 a.m. And then when I got home from work that day is when I got the text about Bray Wyatt. I'm like, fuck, I gotta re-record. So the first podcast that will never see the light of day, I referred to you guys as the Hurt Business because you hurt my feelings by not showing up for the podcast recording. Two, I was bummed that it was my first week back and none of you wanted to be a part of it. And then finally, I just think that I lucked out with, it was rough, and there's a million things that I could have said about Bray Wyatt and I could have said about Terry Funk, but in the moment, it's like I don't have my WWE encyclopedia in front of me.
Yeah,
I forgot all about the Uncle Howdy and the Mountain Dew Pitch Black match and that last run that Bray had as Wyndham, which we found out this week that he wanted it to be Wyndham. He didn't want to be Bray Wyatt. And he was nervous when he came back. So many things. And I'm glad that we are all back. And hopefully moving forward, the team will be back to normal. And what did you guys think about Bray Wyatt's passing, Kevin?
Sad. I like a punch in the gut. I won 4 kids, right? JoJo, his significant other, 36 years old. That's so young. And right off the bat, before it was announced, right, COVID and a heart issue, I'm just like, what the heck could have happened? Because he's had, health issues. And I was like, oh gosh, please, nothing mental health. But I'm like, it's one of those things where I will always say, it's amazing glimpses of creativity, amazing athleticism, but it's so close of being the next Undertaker, or so close to being the next mega heel, and it's one of those things where it's I don't want to say what ifs, right? But it's one of those things where it's okay, what if he came back for an extended period of time? What would have happened? Or it's a missed opportunity of so many things. And it just hurts because I'm a dad. He's a dad, right? And he found the love of his life, JoJo, after finding, having kids with another person. It's sad when you watch it with your kid. And me and him, we went to a SmackDown earlier this year, and that's when there was the return of a Firefly Funhouse, right? And it was the whole setting up with the LA Knight, and he was always oh, the Fiend, he's scary. And we were just watching, and I told him, and he's like, aw, right? And that's a 7-year-old's mind going in, trying to understand, someone he's watching on TV. He loves pro wrestling. Someone he's watching on TV isn't coming back. And it's I'm thinking that it's I love watching him on TV, and I'm feeling the feels mentally and physically, emotionally, right? It's someone like a Terry Funk, right? We're going to talk about him next. He lived a long life, right? Bray's younger than all of us by 5+ years. I'm
10,
the youngest of us 4.
11.
5 years for me, and he's such a young guy. That's fuck, man. Fuck.
Brian, what about you?
Yeah, and before I get to the thoughts, I wanted to reiterate what you said earlier, Jay, too, about when you have to do that show on the fly and by yourself, that's not easy. That's if I was doing it, it's your mind just goes to so many places, and you can't come up with just a coherent way of saying what you want to say.
Oh,
I just said.
and I got to say, it was fun doing the solo thing because I used to do that many years ago.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It might be spinoff season for yours truly.
There you go.
But Brian, with Bray Wyatt and even Terry Funk, because you were the big ECW guy. So You saw Terry on that run.
Yeah.
Thoughts on both of them? I mean, I think we can just lump this into one thing. It doesn't have to be two separate, but
No, that's fine, man. I mean,
you know,
everything you said, Kev, about the father and 36, it's like, geez, the dude had his whole life ahead of him. So that's so sad when you think about it like that. But in his run, I mean, he made such an impact. I think he may have been, when he was released, he may have been the first ever like emergency podcast that we might have done when he was released. It was like, we gotta talk about this.
We were going to, but it never happened.
Okay. We at least talked about it.
Because it was on a Saturday. It was on a Saturday afternoon,
Yeah.
and we just couldn't make it happen. But the only emergency one I think I remember was the Plane Ride from Hell TV show.
Yeah, me and Joe did that one.
Yeah, that's how big of an emergency it was.
That was so weird.
We talked to each other voluntarily.
Man, but yeah, I mean, in his time, so many unique, memorable trademarks. The lantern, the "we're here." He's got the whole world in his hands. Follow the buzzards. Yowie wowie. Let me in. The whole White Rabbit tease when he came back. I mean, those are all trademarks that we'll always remember him for. An amazing promo. Didn't always understand what he was talking about, but he was captivating. You always, for me, always wanted to listen to what he had to say because he just had an amazing delivery. And don't forget, he overcame his original gimmick, Husky Harris, right?
Yep.
The old NXT with CM Punk at the helm, like for the Nexus, like what? And I went back, I watched the Wyatt family debut, and when he came out, there were people chanting Husky Harris.
Yeah, people were dicks.
That's a testament to him that was gone immediately, right? It was like, no, this is the good shit. And I wanted to share my favorite moment of his was for his debut match as the Fiend for that SummerSlam. Finn Balor.
That intro, I remember that because we had just seen snippets of the Fiend. We didn't know what it was going to be like, and it went black, and then "Let Me In" came up on the screen, and that new version of the theme song, which was a grungier version of the original, like. Yeah, I watched that.
That was it for me, Jay. Yeah.
And
I remember.
I was in your basement for that.
Say, Joe, you were probably there. I think my buddy Ken was there. And I remember when the lyrics started and realized it was the classic Wyatt family song, but a new version. I lost my mind. I went to like bootleg that shit the next day because it wasn't out yet. It was so good. I lost my mind. So yeah, I'm gonna miss him. I'm glad, even though this last run didn't, obviously got cut incredibly sadly short, but I'm glad he was able to come back and get that pop at Extreme Rules and do that promo on SmackDown where we got to thank the fans because he made a huge impact on a lot of wrestling fans. So he's going to be good.
Joe, why don't you give us a few thoughts?
I was completely shocked when it happened. I was at Epcot. Wife went to go use the restroom. My phone goes off, and it was the Triple H tweet. And I was like, what? So I sent it to all three of you, and Jason, being Jason, I'm going in line to the Guardians Cosmic Rewind ride. And he's like, fake. Is it the real Triple H? And I'm like, dude, I'm doing research right now while I'm in line with a bunch of people to go on the roller coaster. And like my wife is on there, like looking it up. It's like, oh, it's on the news. I'm like, yeah, it's real, Jason. Stop saying I'm lying.
Yeah.
I wish it was fake, but I was like really sad. It was just, and the way he passed away too, like long COVID. We're not in pandemic levels, but it's just basically like, it's still should be safe out there and be cautious of everything too, because it still can happen. And I'm not going to go into my history with it or anything, or people I know who have had the same thing happen, which was like really heartbreaking. But I will say this: no one in this current generation was as talented, creativity wise, than Wyndham Rotunda. Nobody at all.
So
is that creative.
Go ahead. So
also,
here's the thing:
he made us drink Mountain Dew Pitch Black, which was awful. But because of our respect for his abilities and his storytelling, and just like, this match is going to be ridiculous, but it's going to be awesome at the same time. Like, that was his last match, was the Mountain Dew Pitch Black match. And you know what? Cheers to that.
I went and bought some today just for
You did, of course you did.
Did you?
I did
No,
not.
I did not.
Do they even make it anymore?
No, they don't. We could also blame LA Knight for that too.
No,
but
it was really Bray Wyatt.
So I said this in a conversation, and I almost got my head ripped off. Let me know what you think of the following statement. Bray Wyatt is great for what he did. He's not an all-time great.
I said of this era.
I'm not saying you. I said this in my own every day. He's not an all-time great. He's great for what he did, not an all-time great.
Yeah, I mean, and that speaks to being 36. I couldn't believe how young he was. He could have done this another 8 to 10 years regularly, and so then we could have talked.
Or
about
the way
that.
These guys are going, 15 to 20.
Edge, Jericho, yeah.
I mean, if he he'd had full-time runs, we could have had that conversation. But overall, it's sad, and I think that for the next, I don't know, I think for the next few weeks, we'll see small, subtle tributes, whether it was, the House of Black at All In, or Becky this week on Raw, and there was that clip of Seth from a house show over the weekend, and
Seth also has a Fiend on his side plate too of the championship.
That was nice. That was cool. So, and with Terry Funk, I talked about my first experience with him was beating up that ringside attendant. Brian, real quick, Terry Funk in ECW. Now you went to some shows and you watched it regularly. What was your thoughts of like old man Funk tearing it up in ECW?
It was great because I never really got the whole Terry Funk thing back in the day, maybe a little bit here and there. And to see what he was doing, I mean, for those who weren't around back in that time, what he did for ECW is what Chris Jericho has done for AEW, of the old veteran, the guy who's willing to put over the new talent and go into this new world that was not what he had been used to, whether it was NWA or in any of the Southern territories that he did. So I love that. My one memory that I can remember on it was, and this speaks to how ECW was being based out of Philadelphia. Well, in Philadelphia, Terry Funk was a hero going against like Shane Douglas from Pittsburgh. Mm-hmm. So when they were doing a show in Pittsburgh, he flipped it. I can remember him cutting a promo saying that Pittsburgh's all inbreds. And so Shane Douglas was the hero in Pittsburgh. So it's kind of similar to how like Bret Hart was cheered in Canada and booed in the US. And so that's cool. Yeah. Doing moonsaults at age 50, a guy that, there's veterans out there who don't, like and appreciate what the new generation has done. He clearly did. He got it. And his longevity speaks to just how amazing of a performer he was.
Joe, do you have any Terry Funk things from the past?
Besides that, like my first viewing of him was in Over the Top and Roadhouse, two of my favorite movies growing up. Oh yeah, I'm like, he was in Over the Top. He was the bodyguard, and then it's like he was in Roadhouse, one of the bouncers that was the evil guy. But
what about you? Go ahead, Joe.
Oh no, but I got to go back with Brian. It's like, watching ECW on Past Sports in the Detroit area at like 3:00 in the morning on a Tuesday, and seeing like the old man from there. But I always I go back to the Hell in the Cell match. He goes and check on Foley, and he got choke slammed out of his old man like Air Pegasus shoes. Or whatever, the New Balance like 425s or whatever. But yes, it's he was forever, and sad to see him gone too. But I mean, 79 and he had Alzheimer's, so it was like it was coming to an end. Yeah. Not as shocking, but still sad.
Kev?
No, I some of my first actually, I knew who he was. Little glimpses here and there, but my biggest like full time seeing him a lot was when he was Chainsaw Charlie. Nice. in then WWF. Like I knew of him. I didn't watch any of his really old school matches. So him and Cactus Jack versus New Age Outlaws was like the first full time
dumpster match.
week after week after week after week of seeing him with like pantyhose on his face. just an old
And a chainsaw.
old
And a
ass
chainsaw.
guy. That's the thing, doing his thing.
He was the original Leatherface.
Yeah.
He was I was about to say he was
Or would that be
cool coming
panty
down
face?
to the ring with a chainsaw.
Yeah.
Only Terry Funk can pull that one off.
Right.
One other thing I said in the show that will never see the light of day. I enjoyed the Texas Chainsaw Massacre match.
What?
I didn't think it was that bad. As corny as it was, it just proved to me that Jeff Jarrett is a top 5 all-time great talent.
You're a Jarrett mark.
I love
that's
Jeff
why.
Jarrett.
That's why.
It was fun. It was silly. It was corny, but I enjoyed it. So, Brian, if you would like to take back over the hosting reins, I will tag you in now since,
Thank you kindly.
That's
sir.
a hot tag.
Hey, by the way, I want to give a prop to the WWE, production video team for the SmackDown tribute video that they did for Bray Wyatt. I mean, what a tough job to have to turn that around in 24 hours. I'm sure they're all crushed having to do it. And they put together, they're the best in the business. It was a masterpiece like every other tribute they've ever done was. So
yeah,
I wanted to make sure I acknowledge that.
They always do great work. So, no doubt.
Absolutely the best. So, and some positive news, we did find out too, hey, John Cena's back. He's going to be back later tonight at SmackDown in Hershey, PA. So, guys, I think the schedule's the next like 7 or 8 weeks of SmackDown release that they've announced. So he's got a little bit of a run coming up. When you heard this, what came to your mind about who you wanted to see John, either interact with or feud with? What would you like to see?
What came to my mind was, man, is this strike ever going to end? I mean, seriously, it's got to get work somehow.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, well, I mean, one loss is another fan base gain. So, good job.
True.
I'm glad that he's coming back. I kind of wish he was coming back on Saturday instead of Friday, but whatever. I'm selfish.
Maybe something gets set up Friday. That's fingers crossed. Yeah.
Wait, are we finally getting Ernest Goes to Wrestling? 7-week film. 7-week film.
He'll be facing Vern in a.
Aw, rest in peace.
Who's got what?
No, Vern never existed.
Oh, we're talking about Vern.
Ernest was what
Ernest,
passed
yes.
away, but
Jim
Vern
Varney
was
Jim
invisible.
Varney, yeah.
Go on, Jay.
No, go ahead.
Okay, perfect. Grayson Waller, right?
Okay.
It has to be like.
No, it doesn't.
That's the first
It
thing.
doesn't.
It doesn't have to be too obvious.
Yeah, but he's going to have a collection of people. That's the thing. It's not going to be 7 weeks leading up to one match.
It's going
to be what, a Payback in Indianapolis?
Oh, you wish.
Maybe
he's going to come back.
Austin Theory set it up for Austin Theory in week 7.
And he's going to call out Roman.
Again?
Your family's in shambles. You're the reason. I'm a 16-time champ. He's going to bait Roman into a title match on SmackDown. Cena's going to win. And then Damian Priest is going to come and cash in. Book that shit.
Wow.
Grayson Waller, Austin Theory. You guys didn't do no homework this week.
No one said Austin Theory.
You're shooting for the moon, though. I love it.
Cameron Grimes it is.
Go big or go home.
To the moon. No, I'm
go big or go
different.
home.
I'm different, though. It's not going to be Roman. It's going to be Seth. He's going to get number 17 off of Seth, and then Damian Priest is going to cash in, and it goes back to Raw where it belongs. But they need Cena on SmackDown because it's a network show. Roman's taking a holiday. So Roman Holiday. Hey, I get that joke. And then it's basically that's it. So he's going to call out Seth, get number 17 there. Priest cashes in, championship's back on Raw. Seth can get it back. But yeah, that's Cena's coming back for number 17.
That's great, but you're wrong. My shit's
You're
right.
wrong.
You're wrong.
Grimes going to say Cameron Grimes, and he's wrong. Watch it's Grayson Waller, and we'll be like, Kevin's right, but who?
Yeah, no,
Hey, there's
I
gonna be
did
multiple.
but I'm seeing all SmackDown. I'm like, how are they gonna get Seth over there? So that kind of
How do they get LA Knight over
By
to Raw?
car.
Flight.
Yeah, flight.
If
With bus.
I know.
If
I know.
Logan
They
Paul
bend
can
the
make it to
rules.
Dallas from Detroit in time for a fight, they can get Seth Rollins over to SmackDown.
Yeah.
From Hershey to wherever. So
Do I have to get my map out again? I
Oh,
don't care.
boy,
Okay,
map.
wait.
map
hold
of
on.
Pennsylvania. So
Matt.
Brian, what is your thought on John Cena? What's he going to do?
Yeah, I'm thinking something with SmackDown, guys.
Whoa, no
Oh,
shit.
wow,
He's
he
gonna
is
be
going on
for the next
SmackDown for 7 weeks.
Well, all right, my fault. That I didn't say that how I wanted to say that. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I give some credence to the Grayson Waller thing. Like, let's
Got
have
it.
some fun with that.
I got my flight
That's
plan.
S.
There it is.
McMahon. Oh no, S.
There
Raw.
it is.
And then the plane goes to SmackDown. Got it.
There it is. But you know who I'd love to, if we are
Okay.
going to throw out the Raw, SmackDown, it doesn't fucking matter. Give me Dirty Dom.
Ooh,
It's
would
Dirty
be
Dom
fun.
and Cena. That's very much how like Cody and Dirty Dom was, where it's just we love this guy and we hate this guy. I think there could be some fun stuff, him mixing it up with Judgment Day, but really Dirty Dom being that little a-hole for Cena.
Well, Dom has
that could
to
be a
take
lot of fun.
multiple flights though, because he's got to go to Raw to NXT and then to SmackDown. I mean, that's
He's
just too much flying.
Racking up the frequent flyer. You're right. Yeah, there's anything he's going to do, it will be pretty cool, I think, to see. But yeah, we will find out later on
All right,
tonight.
we'll see who's
Hey,
right.
guys, quick one. Roman Reigns this week, 3-year anniversary of when he became champion. 3-year reign. Quick one. Favorite moment from Roman's reign.
every moment
That's
from the last 3 years.
No.
Is there a
Pick a
leap year day in
moment.
there?
Does it
Okay.
have to be a match?
It could be whatever you want. Just pick
Eating
one
popcorn
thing.
in the back with Sami Zayn when he got a bucket of popcorn too.
That's good.
That cracked
good.
me up.
No.
But best match, so many of them.
When he caught the mic.
Damn it, that's
Brock
mine.
in
Yeah.
SummerSlam.
That's mine. Fuck, that was great. Go
Kevin,
ahead, say it. Say it all. Just
Go.
so people know who don't know what we're talking about.
No,
No.
it was.
they can
Oh, it's
Google that
amazing.
shit.
All right.
Go to
I would
Peacock.
say
God damn it.
this is a multiple thing, but I would say even just his taunting to loved ones, right? In Montreal, how he would taunt Sammy's family, right? And then to Cody's mom and shit. Brain fart. Brandy, in the front row at Mania. And just when the back's against the wall, where we know, like in Montreal, like he's such a good entertainer. Like he allowed Sammy's entertaining, believe me, but that's a dance. That was a 2-man dance. Like to bring in the emotions to us think that Sammy was going to win by allowing that to get to that point. And I don't want to toot Jay's horn, but like the Mania match against Cody.
Say my name,
Man,
Kevin.
Say
my
swerved.
name.
Yes, Beyonce. Like that swerved all of us. That's a top.
Not all of us.
That is
Except for one.
Somebody predicted that if you've
But,
been
like,
listening.
He was on the
That's one of
island
my
of
favorite
relevancy
moments.
the whole time. He
It
never
was
left.
unexpected, but
His best Mania match was
Oh,
against
my.
Brock, not against Cody.
I
Oh,
got a
we're
little
here.
weird there.
I can't keep track. In this run, Joe?
In this run, the 3 Mania matches he had, the Edge and Daniel Bryan, it was cool that he stacked them and won. But the Brock one, that one was the best match of the 3 Mania matches during this run.
I disagree.
Fourth row. I was in the fourth
Cody,
row. It was awesome.
the Cody one was
I was in
good,
sixth
but
row for that one.
the ending ruined it. There wasn't I don't remember there being like such bad shenanigans for Roman versus Brock.
There wasn't.
That one was more legit. So it's like
Yeah.
the way that ended with Solo coming back after being kicked out. That's what made that one go down below Brock and Roman at that WrestleMania, where Jason was in the 65th row for that one.
No, I was in the 6th row at this year and the 4th row last year. And I'll be on my couch next year because I have no interest in going to Philadelphia. That's another story for another time.
In West Philadelphia, Jay's not going on the playground. Nope. All right. But we are going, and by we I mean Jay and Joe, Saturday night, Payback, PPG Paints Arena in beautiful Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Brian, I know you haven't been here for a while. It's called the Paint Can now.
Oh, that's the nickname? Okay.
That is the Paint Can.
That.
Brought to you by Sherwin-Williams.
Yeah.
No, PPG Paints. Dummy.
Okay. Even better.
Yeah. Guys, I'll be honest, but before Monday's Raw, I was thinking this is kind of a mid.
Of course it is. Of course it is.
Yeah, what'd you expect?
This ain't a big five.
I'm just comparing to how we were all at SummerSlam, right? So I was just like,
no shit. I mean, 80,000 to 20,000. Come on, man. This is
on Monday for me.
This is an in-between pay-per-view. For the next couple, to get to Survivor Series, they've got to go small. I mean, look, every PLE they did this year was from another country. Detroit was the first in the States.
Mm-hmm.
So, this one, look, it is what it is. The thing that I am most happy about is they announced the Payback store, but they did not call it a Superstore because I think they learned after the SummerSlam Superstore that wasn't very super. Just call it the PLE store because, pretty excited for that. But seriously, though, I wish we were going to get Cody in a match, but getting Cody on the Grayson Waller effect might set up a match for later in the night. But, there's only there's only 7 matches right now. Maybe 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. There's only 6 matches so far.
Yeah.
We got 2 women's matches.
And 2 women's matches. So, I don't know. I mean, I don't think we need to do a deep dive into this because, I mean, Joe and I can,
let's do it next week.
Yeah, we can do the review instead of a preview, I think, because this one, like you said, Brian, not much meat on the bone for this one.
However, in the past year, when they've had these like total mid setups, they knock them out of the park. They're like, wow, it was way better than I was expecting. So even looking at this one, I'm like, I'm glad I'm going. It's going to be fun. I mean, there's going to be a lot of people there I'm going to want to see that I didn't see at SummerSlam, but I'm like, this has the potential to be a really good event.
Crowd.
Sneaky good.
All based on the crowd.
Yeah, this is going to be sneaky good because I have a feeling it's got to be sneaky good because of, they do have competition the next night. And that
But do they though?
Oh,
okay,
the way they kind of do. It's not real competition, but it is.
So
but that card looks like garbage too, and it could be great.
Well, that's exactly. So we can have the decision factor of Brian. Which one is more mid? Brian talking like a nice high school student. Which one is the more sus level?
Yeah, I think Payback had a little bit of redemption on Monday with some of the additions that they did compared to All Out. But we'll get to that in a minute about what
All Out. Here's some guys and gals who haven't been on TV in 2 months. They now you're gonna pay to watch them.
We'll get to it. Get to it. I will say this one thing about Payback. I did because thinking about preview and predictions. Seth is going to beat Nakamura.
Mm-hmm.
Nakamura is going to F up Seth's back. And you guys are going to see Damian Priest cash in and be champion.
That'd be awesome.
When he has to beat Cena.
I think people are going to take away from that show.
Yeah, I mean, I think that makes the most sense. I'm looking forward to that match more than anything because I think this version of Nakamura is the one that I've wanted for years.
Yeah, he's
been goofy foreign guy that people laugh when he says a word because he actually gets it right. And this is the Nakamura that like he said, Tokyo Dome. I had a conversation today with a guy I work with. He's 19. loves wrestling, doesn't know much about Nakamura's past. And I said, yeah, man, like Google New Japan Nakamura and even like Ring of Honor Nakamura, some of the stuff he did there back in the day. If this is what we're going to get, this like fucking killer version of Nakamura, I'm down.
Yeah.
I might even buy a shirt.
They
At
did a
the
great
store.
job of building them.
At the store.
At the store.
You're gonna buy Steel City 316.
The build for this has been great because it's like it was a slow build that's been going for a month prior to him attacking Seth. It's like he was telling us the whole time that don't mess with me. And he did it, and like the videos of like, I know your secret, and like so calculating in the way that it's being presented, it's freaking great. And I could actually see him winning this, and I would be okay with that. Yeah, I could see. Yeah. He's not going to, but I could see it happening because, like, it could be a makeup for the years of him being like, as much as I loved Pat McAfee going nuts for Nakamura with boobs. Like, it's still my favorite Nakamura. I don't care. That's just entertaining. This one is the best version since he's got called up to the main roster. And he won a Royal Rumble and went to WrestleMania.
Yeah.
This one's better.
Against AJ, too, was a great match. So, overall, there isn't much on this card that's really got me excited except for that match.
What
about Miz and LA Knight?
On Payback?
Nah. I hope LA Knight loses just so people lose their fucking minds again.
We do need to talk about Miz's impression on Monday. How great was that?
It was good.
Fantastic.
Fantastic. I was curious. Miz is the first ballot Hall of Famer.
To the light jeans, to the Timbos. I think those are Timberlands.
Timberlands, yeah.
Like, to the, like, amazing. The manner
to saying what down, instead of and then saying hell yeah, hell yeah.
Well, his Cena impression was really good. His Rock impression was amazing. Like he
does.
That's why he's the A-lister.
Good company to be in.
He is.
You don't star in 4 Marine movies and Santa's Little Helper without having the chops.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that match has to end in shenanigans. That has to keep going. Like,
so you're saying Miz is going to win?
I think so.
I think Miz is going to win. Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. I hope so.
I just, do you know what match I want to end? Because I never want to see this ever again. Is Trish versus Becky.
It just has to be the end.
It's got to be the end. Yeah.
Like, look, not many people could coordinate their shirt with their soft drink.
Hey now.
But I do think this is the end of the Trish Stratus Becky Lynch story.
Do you have a pink light in your?
Let's see what I have there. Blue, green, red.
Nope, they all look like you just turned them off.
I want to find. I had this
little tints.
Yeah.
Wow.
I had this.
This is riveting.
Kevin can attest. There was a strobe effect that, like, it looked like we were in a rave. I don't know where the hell that thing went to, but no, I think the Trish thing, she's terrible on the mic right now. Like, referring to Becky as Lynch, like, Becky isn't a last name kind of chick. Like, you know, there are some girls you can refer to by last name, kind of like guys. Becky Lynch is not a last name chick, I don't think. But I do think maybe Trish wins and Becky goes down to NXT to deal with Tiffany Stratton. Or what's best for Becky, go away for a while.
Like, she goes away, Seth gets injured, he goes away, they get a little break before Royal Rumble.
Back at Rumble? Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm not with any of that, but yeah, this needs to end, please. Jay, you are the only one of us who watched All In. Tell us all about it.
Surprisingly, I enjoyed Jack Perry and Hook. I did not see that coming.
That was real glass, you know.
Cry me a river.
You know, it's funny that made me laugh. Like, when he did that, I was like, "Oh, all right."
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm not too high on AEW right now, but it was a stadium show, and I wanted to see if it felt like WrestleMania. Spoiler alert: it didn't. It just felt like the superest of super indie shows, and I thought it was cool that Mercedes was in the crowd, supposedly to set up the whole, Soraya thing. But what was really cool is Tony Khan loves to spend money on music. Queen, We Will Rock You. Metallica, Seek and Destroy. I feel like there was one other one too that wasn't the normal type of music. But look, man, I love Samoa Joe. Allegedly, he's the one that broke up the fight and told Punk to get your ass in the ring, because that fight happened when Perry came back and Punk was getting ready to come out. Joe put that shit in. That's the type of locker room leaders this company needs, if that's true. Right. I've heard a million different stories, but the fact of the matter is, I don't care who's to blame for this incident. There's one common denominator in the whole thing, and it's Phil Brooks. It makes me want to not talk about AEW on this show ever again. It makes AEW hard to watch. But for me, with Ospreay and Jericho was awesome. To see 51-year-old Jericho hang with a top 5 guy in the world was amazing. He did not get beat down singing on the way to the ring, which was great. I'm glad he didn't do that. And FTR and the Bucks was great too. I expected nothing less from that. And look, the main event, too much hokey shit for me. That pay-per-view had a strong B rating the whole time. And then all that shit that happened in the main event dropped it to a C+ for me. I'm not buying All Out. I'm not even watching All Out. I'm going to a bar to watch a country band play Sunday night in my hometown. Like, I don't want anything to do with it. And the card for All Out sucks.
Yeah.
This is, if the whole, conversation we had about the pay-per-views, they both kind of whack right now. But I think Payback will be better than All Out. I don't even remember anything else from All In.
Sting and Darby versus.
I wanted to get your guys' thoughts on what Jay said about he thought it was cool that Mercedes Moné was in the crowd. Yeah. What do you guys feel about that? Because she's still injured, and it doesn't sound like she's like going to be back in a week or so. So I kind of felt like it was interesting because she can't get involved, and is it kind of I don't know, like not quite the big debut that maybe someone like her really.
It was like she was in the NXT crowd for a takeover.
Yeah. That's a great example. Yep.
It's not though, because AEW treats their women like garbage. So this isn't a step down from the women's revolution. This is like a mile down. This is like bottom dwelling for the women's wrestling.
So you're saying, Brian, it gave you a case of blue balls. That she's there, but nothing's going to happen.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. Now that you explain it, yeah.
See, I kind of like it because it's kind of it's a slight tease, and now you're going to think, okay, because somebody took a photo, she had the boot on, right? Yes. And it's going to be in the back of your mind. Okay, when's she going to be better? When will she debut?
Okay.
I kind of liked it.
All right.
I don't care. AEW's women division is so awful that I don't want her there. I want her in Impact. At least they treat her with respect.
I really wanted Britt Baker to win. Saraya winning didn't really do anything for me.
But your co-stars were out there.
I know.
Movie that
the real one, not the fake one. Sorry,
I was in that movie. Yeah,
you were.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts on the CM Punk Jack Perry? I mean, I can't. I'm not going to recap it because it's just the story changes every other moment of the day. Does anybody have any sum it up thoughts? I don't know.
I feel pity for CM Punk. I feel
why.
Pity. Because
he's a grown man.
It shows that he's not respected, and
he doesn't respect anyone. What are you talking about?
Jesus Christ, Kevin, who are you?
I'm not saying he needs to be given respect.
You don't,
but I feel slight pity for the guy. But apparently, he did get a really good chokehold in. So maybe Dana White will be calling him back.
Bring him back.
Kevin, the whole respect thing is this. Just because you're an old veteran doesn't mean they have to respect you. You earn respect.
You give,
and the way you get respect is by giving it itself. And he doesn't respect anyone because he thinks he's the best in the world. Till he believes that catchphrase.
Who he likes.
Yeah, they like him.
I will say though that in a vacuum, apparently how this started, of CM Punk going to Jack Perry and saying, may not want to use real glass. That seems like a smart thing to me.
But we
Right?
don't know. But
On
we
the
don't know.
surface.
We don't know this.
But
This
we
is
don't
all
know how.
hearsay.
No, we don't know how
Exactly.
Punk,
Sure, I'm just saying that's what
we don't know how Punk said it.
No, of course not.
So I'm over it. Like I said, it makes me not want to watch Dynamite or Rampage.
You don't have to. He's a Collision guy.
That's right. He is a collider. That's right. So
and no one watches that anyway.
No.
Oh yeah.
I mean, did I watch last Saturday? I feel like I watched some of last Saturday. That's the thing. I don't even remember if I watched. I just got my cable installed that day, and I did set my DVR. But I really
Saturday was a tape show because
your DVR
all
will
was
tell
the
you
next
then.
day. So
yeah, I guess it
probably
would,
nothing
Joe.
big on there anyway.
I don't know.
Let's get to All Out then, guys. I mean, first off, this is apparently going to be a thing because Tony, in the ring at the end of All In, came out and said, "We're doing this next year. We're back." They already got the date set. I think it's August 25th of 24. And he said in the press conference, "I like doing All Out on the Labor Day holiday weekend."
Yep.
I mean, look, there's no way around it. This is a disaster. There's no way
why don't you tell us how you real feel,
could have
Brian?
watched last night's Dynamite and see how they like threw things together and went, "Tony, take my money. Get the F out of here. What a mess. This is not a good idea. You need time to breathe." I think we've learned there's no good way of doing back-to-back weeks of doing a pay-per-view, or at least Tony hasn't figured it out because this is a fucking disaster.
WWE did it 3 years ago.
The real question is, what is gonna main event All Out?
Okay, so here's my theory. Okay, they didn't announce this on Dynamite, but as I was late night scrolling on Twitter, Tony put this out there for Collision. Did you see what Ricky Starks will do on Collision?
He's gonna let he
wants to fight Ricky Steamboat.
That screenshot looks like a telenovela like love story. The old man and the young guy. It looks it's very sexual. Very sexual.
Oh, Steamboat.
Or like Dreamboat.
Both Ricky. Oh, Ricky.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, Ricky, yeah. Oh, yes, Ricky. Oh, Ricky, yeah."
It's the two Rickies. Holy cow.
Oh, Ricky, you're so fun. You're so fun. You blow my mind. Hey, Ricky.
So I have to think that what happens on Collision, he's gonna call out Steamboat, call it a personality hits. Shockingly, the suspension is over, and there's your main event: Ricky Starks and CM Punk for the real heavyweight championship. Other than that, there's nothing that could even be considered. Sorry.
Nothing can be considered for the main event. I think it's probably going to be Omega and Takeshita. The sleeper match, though, that I think everyone's going to be talking about Monday, Samoa Joe and Shane Taylor. If you don't know,
I know you're a Shane Taylor guy.
I have been flying the flag of Shane Taylor Promotions for years. And, Samoa Joe is the top guy, I think that is the match people are going to be talking about. The fact that they're putting FTR and the Bucks together against Bullet Club IPA, I don't understand that, but they got to throw it together. And of course, MJF and Cole are gonna. Here's the description Brian wrote for this match: MJF and Cole versus some tag team battle royal winner on Rampage, which I'll get spoilers and be able to say who it is when it's time for recording. It's
cover in your ears if you don't want to know who wins.
Oh wait, did it already happen?
Yeah, they did Rampage right after Dynamite.
Oh, was it the Kingdom?
No.
Oh, was it? I thought for sure it was going to be the Kingdom. Who won the Battle Royal? Because I have no idea. I didn't even know they filmed it last night.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Dark Order,
What?
It's Silver and Reynolds.
Oh,
Sure, why not?
Oh,
Why not?
fuck.
no,
They
I
just-
can imagine
the-
Tony
Oh, I
has a
do-
dartboard. Oh, it landed on double
No, it was
13.
it was the prize wheel
Dartboard.
that it was like our prize wheel that we used to
Yeah.
have.
Holy
Um, No, you know what I do remember from Collision? Reynolds and Silver made their Collision debut last Saturday.
it's a
Wow.
Okay, this
Oh
one
my
is more.
God.
Okay, this one it has more.
Have we broken
mid.
down any of the matches? No, but who
We
cares?
don't have
It's
to.
way more
This is-
There's
entertaining.
nothing to break down.
No.
Is there anything Meltzer will even give a 1 star to?
He probably will.
5-star to
knowing
everything.
him,
Yeah.
but it's just
I'm telling-
this is a complete house show.
Oh God, yeah. This should be a network
And that's
special.
Yeah, that's fine for
This should be
enjoying
Battle of the
matches.
Belts
I'm sure there'll
on
be
Saturday
some
at
good
Yes.
wrestling.
This should be Battle of the Belts. Good
Yeah.
call.
This should be Battle of the Belts.
Yeah, this there's no stakes to it. If you put your money down for All In, I can't imagine you see this lineup and go, okay. And like
I want the Chicago crowd to just destroy this, but they won't. But I would
I don't-
love to see the Chicago crowd just like basically
Chant
rip
CM
this-
Punk all night.
Yeah, chant CM
They
Punk,
will.
take over the show, and
You know,
just be
there's-
like, worst show ever.
There is another person on the AEW/Ring of Honor roster that has strong Chicago ties, and you know what he's doing right now? He's Brandon Cutler's intern on Being the Elite. That would be one Colt Cabana. Give
there you
him
go.
some love. Give him some Chicago shine.
Yeah.
But literally, he is dressed up like Brandon Cutler in that neon zebra suit with no sleeves because he's got big guns, and filming Cutler filming the Bucks. That's what they're doing on Being the Elite with Colt Cabana. Give this guy a fucking chance, man. Get him in the ring. Something.
It's sad. And
No, because it will upset Phil.
Fuck.
well, yeah, you're right. And the fact that they have such a big roster, like it seems so easy to go, all right, here's the 8 matches on All In, and here's 6 matches for All Out, and then maybe you have like a rematch from All In to add to the card. And I think I feel like the only thing that was on the card was Miro and Hobbs. That was announced.
Ooh, okay.
And Statlander and Ruby Soho. That was
Yeah, but,
going
like-
into last weekend. Everything else is just
Miro and Hobbs had zero build or anything either. So, like, who cares? There's no
It's a
story.
disaster.
So let's hypothetical. Let's do some hypotheticals. This could be fun. I apparently just scratched my leg and I'm bleeding. Hard way.
Who are you, the
Wouldn't it
John
be-
Moxley of this show? You just have to bleed any chance you can get?
Wouldn't it be awesome if CM Punk got stripped of the real world championship, and then in like a year when he comes back from this one, he can claim that he's the 2-time real world champion because he never lost? Come on.
Never lost.
It's never lost.
Whatever. They're
Never
just
lost.
ripping off Shawn Michaels in the Intercontinental Championship. Come on.
That's all. Most people
like, I really just want to stop talking about AEW on this show. Can we like put that? What was the thing that was going to cause that, Joe? Do you remember?
Yeah, I remember.
Oh, if
It was-
MJF would have done the 5 challenges.
Oh
for Adam
yeah,
Cole.
Right.
yeah.
was bad.
Instead,
They
that thing
pulled-
was actually they did well. They became best friends.
Yeah,
Yes.
I don't, and like I said on the podcast last week, for one of them, I don't remember, but it's cool, it's goofy. I don't know, man. I need
not
the
your devil.
I need that's not my devil.
Right.
But going to train for Aussie Open at Outback Steakhouse, I laughed my ass off
That was
because I love Outback Steakhouse.
Mhm.
Cheese
That was
fries,
funny.
no bacon.
He cut a promo afterward. I think they played it on Dynamite of like, I'm going to Paris. I'm gonna bang some
rats.
What? So
You made me
Still-
wrestle
it's still
more in the
in
last
there.
3 months in my entire career.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know how this Adam Cole MJF story ends, but I don't. I'm not as enamored with it as a lot of people. I even seen people say that it's better than the Bloodline story. Get the fuck out of here with that.
it's been fun. I wonder if they will regret not having the turn at All In for whoever does it. That's a big spot, and
When
they
they-
ended up hugging each other to end the match.
when they did the double clothesline and the double pin, I was like, wow. I kind of liked that. I'm like, that's pretty awesome. But then, of course, it continued, and Roddy Strong got involved, and I don't know, man. It's a lot, and I'm just, I don't know. This has been the best. This has been the best pay-per-view preview show we've ever done.
I like it when
them.
Bad.
Yeah.
It's easier to talk honestly versus having so many exciting matches to talk about. To be honest.
Have we mentioned a match?
The real question is: did any of you Lions fans purchase the Detroit Lions WWE Championship title?
If they won the Super Bowl, I would.
Oh,
I would have to think about it.
Oh, if they win the Super Bowl, Kevin.
Boy,
you know what, Kevin? You know what? I'm just gonna say it. When they win the Super Bowl, we both have to buy that. Has to happen. Has to happen.
Wow. I'm curious to see if they have.
They've never been to one, so it's like, yeah, we're shaking. Kevin, you agree? I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Like when they win the Super Bowl, we have
Kevin,
to have that.
With a tear in my eye, I'll buy it.
This
Kevin,
is the greatest moment of my life.
You know what the best thing is? I'll enjoy my $9 fan cash to bring it down to $529.
And I'll probably be sleeping on the couch.
I'm curious to see if they'll have them at the event this weekend, because I want to see it before I'm considering the Steelers, definitely not the Lions. I just fucking Lions, get out of here.
I think the some teams I think look a little bit better.
At least they don't have scissors on the back of the strap.
Oh God, those are terrible.
The trios belts. But no, I
damn.
think the Lions logo
Sorry,
had the Honolulu blue line, but then it had like a big white plate. It almost looked like it was like an index card taped on it. Like I feel like some belts looked.
Well, they're all the same.
Yeah.
Format. It just colors and things switch in and out. But I don't know. We'll have to
love my Lions. Yeah,
Lions would look great. Jaguars too, while it was available, and then it sold out. Sold out. Finger quotes.
I don't think.
But the Lions may be sold out because like on the first hour, it already said almost gone.
Yeah. The fun thing is
Tony bought them all for Jacksonville.
When NFL games
for Detroit too.
No, when NFL games start next Thursday and going on, how many people in the crowd will be?
Oh God, yeah.
That's what's going to be freaking awesome. And I saw a lot of tweets like, hopefully it comes to MLB and NBA. Like, can you just imagine all sporting events just
fucking nerds?
Give respect where respect is due. This all started because of Rasheed Wallace getting everyone a championship title when the Pistons won the championship, because he's like, rings aren't enough.
I know a guy that works for the Steelers. I'm going to have him keep count of how many he sees at the games, because this is going to become a thing.
You know what's going to be a sideline?
Do they have to defend him during the tailgate?
I mean,
because Buffalo would just be nothing but table matches.
Yeah. Oh boy, what a mess! What a mess! This podcast has been kind of a mess as well. But I'm glad we're all back.
It's better than All Out.
Yeah,
we're less mid than.
I'm willing to bet that. Yes,
we're less better than All Out.
Willing to bet that. Well,
all right, Brian, you want to wrap this up?
Yeah. Great job, guys. What in paper looked like it could have been the longest podcast of all time. It was not nearly the case, and I'm
thank God.
That was, how it played out. At that WrestlePod, of course, for all the socials, I'm hoping we'll see how much or how little Jay being live at Payback. We'll throw maybe a quick little video on there, or some photos from being live
I'm there
at
too.
Pay Camp. What did he say?
I'm like,
Joe's gonna be there
I'm
too.
Gonna be there too.
Yeah, but you're not a social media guy, so you can just look pretty with your glasses on, sunglasses, Joe, and
inside. Yeah.
Inside.
So at that WrestlePod, check that out. Whatamaneuver.net.
Subscribe to the YouTube channel, please. Yes. We are almost to 3,800. We're almost there.
Yeah,
you guys did well in my absence this summer. You guys did great.
Thank you. Slowly but surely, we're making those gains. And Joe, Jay, enjoy Payback. And for everyone listening and watching, enjoy wrestling, even if you're ordering All Out. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks for watching That Wrestling Podcast on YouTube. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. And for more That Wrestling Podcast content, follow @ThatWrestlePod on social media.